in the moment of feeling that pain or feeling that discomfort or whatever it might be that we said is beautiful, the beautiful part about it is when you're feeling the pain is to remind yourself that in 6 minutes, 6 days, 6 months, or 6 years, whatever it might be, you're going to go, oh shit, that's why that happened. It pivoted me to go this way. It made me do this. It helped me get a better relationship with this person. Hey man, sometimes you get an argument with a family member. In the moment, you're like, damn, I didn't want to get in a fight with that person. But dude, you know, maybe not 10 out of 10, but 8 times out of 10, you know, the relationship is stronger after that.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're two mature people and you're able to put your egos aside and talk, be like, hey man, I actually love you. The reason I got fired up is because I care.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell people. The reason people argue is not just ego, it's because you care enough, you know?
Welcome back to another episode of High Value Discussions. I am pleased to introduce a guest that is simply the best in the game at leaving an unforgettable mark. This man redefines what it means to serve, both in the restaurant business and as a human being. My guest is a master when it comes to the restaurant industry. He is the man behind the new restaurant in town, Garden City Tri-Tip. But let me tell you, this man isn't just serving food. He's serving experiences, memories, and most importantly, a lasting mark. What sets my guest apart isn't just his restaurant expertise, though those are very impressive, it's his passion for people. He's got this ability to make you feel seen, heard, and valued in every way that you do not forget. I've personally had the privilege of watching him work his magic, and I can say without a doubt, he's not just in the restaurant business, he's in the people business, and he's simply the best at it. He is on a mission, and it's bigger than just running restaurants. He's about helping others live better, live more fulfilling lives, and that is exactly what we will be diving in this episode of High Value Discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Pete Kouretas.
I've been on the show. I've been on a couple of your shows.
3. This is honestly our 4th conversation when it comes to being on air together.
Yeah, you're right. And I remember I'm going through stages. Yeah. I was actually listening to a couple of like the first one and then the second one and to see where I was. One of the podcasts I had been like in a really good spot as far as like working out and like losing weight. And then I think the last one that I was on, I was talking about how I was kind of trying to pick myself back up again. And I'm kind of still trying to do the same thing. But, oh, man, it's been pretty crazy because, let's see, January, first off, before January, I was drinking a lot. And I was like, you know, thinking that's what why I was so unhappy. And don't get me wrong, drinking does very, very much make you unhappy if you're not, you know, in the right headspace. But so I quit drinking last August, a year ago. I had quit, and about 4 months in, I had realized that it wasn't so much the alcohol, but my job. And so I loved being like having my title as Peter the Greeter or whatever. But it was another company that I had worked for that I just didn't like the way that things were being managed. I'll keep it as professional as I can, you know? So, so much that I've never walked out on a job, but I walked out. I came back from our New Year's Eve time off or whatever, and I walked into work super early, wrote an email, and left. And
daring,
not the way
dude, you know?
First of all, I would never do that. I don't want to put that out there that I was, you know, but sometimes you have to put your foot down, especially when I stopped drinking and it hit me like a ton of bricks, right? The drinking was covering a lot of stuff up. And so once I woke up one day after being clear-headed for a while, I was like, wait a minute, it's my job. It's like, you know, I love being a professional host. I love talking to people, expressing myself. But when the appreciation isn't there, or I feel that I'm at a point where I need to do it for myself, you know, I feel like a lot of people might feel that way. If there's one thing that people get comfortable with, it's work. And when you get comfortable with your job, you kind of think that it might be everything else around you. But if you could meditate, maybe, like I'm not a meditator, but meditating, I feel like could probably help someone, or even working out can help clear anything that will clear your mind to understand what's going on. So that was what woke me up. Went to work, walked out, boom, boom, boom. It was like breaking up with, your significant other. I mean, a job that I really did like it. It just was, so breaking up, I thought like instantly I was going to feel good, but it took about, let's see, right when I quit, I started working out with Ivan Batnich again. Shout out to Ivan.
Shout out to Ivan.
Yeah, and the boxing going on there. I started working out with him thinking that was going to make me feel better right away, and it wasn't. It didn't. So I stopped. Unfortunately, I stopped after about 3 weeks, and I needed to feel what I was feeling. And after about a month, I had a lot of time to think, and I just woke up one day and started to feel a bit better. So that's how I knew that it was time that I needed, So, but after a week, mid-February, I started to get the depression of not having a job now. So that's when I felt like I was spiraling. I was in bed, and I had been following a local pop-up, and I love everything about these guys. And so I would repost their stuff all the time. And so I just reached out to him, leaned over, reached out and said, hey, you guys ever got a position or anything? You need somebody to wash dishes or anything at all? Let me know. And he instantly hit me up and said, dude, of course. I said, I'll fill out an application. He said, no need, just come down. And that's how I knew this guy was a real cool cat,
Yeah.
So he opened his arms, like this. And he said, come on in. And so I got to help prep. I got to get close to a lot of the food community. That was the reason I quit my job, was because I thought maybe that's what I wanted to do, was get back into the food industry,
Yeah.
just in case nobody knows. That's what I come from. My grandfather had the biggest Greek restaurant on the West Coast from the 60s till 2000. And so he had everybody from the Casta Bonanza.
That's your world. You're so used to that.
Bro,
Yeah.
hey. These people think they got restaurant. In my mom's womb, sniffing fucking fried food and shit. I'm being honest, like it's one thing, so it wasn't a typical diner either. There was live music every night, super loud. So when my mom was pregnant, I believe in this as well, she was there helping still. So we got live music. We got the smells of a kitchen. So, I mean, I didn't just grow up in it. I was freaking, molding to it inside my mother. It was one of those things. And it truly was. I feel that way. I feel it in my bones. And so I'm not better than anybody. A lot of people are starting things before I've even started anything. And it's not even about the food for me. That's my favorite thing. Dude, I've said this to 1,000 people. I love that everybody thinks they have the best. There's no such thing, dog. You get a taco anywhere, you get a burger anywhere. It's good and it's worth it. But dude, it's all about the person behind the grill or the atmosphere. How you make me feel when I leave this spot. Hey, I get before the pandemic, we were all about convenience, right? You go into a place, shiny lights, get your food quick, in and out, boom. Pandemic hit, people got stuck in a house, people are craving. It's all the same things. Everything comes back around. Everybody's craving experience now, right? I mean, you used to be able to go to my grandfather's restaurant. You'd be able to sit at the cocktail lounge, get hammered, go down to the dining area, watch the belly dancer while you ate your food, have your dessert. It was a full night, It wasn't like, oh, in and out, what's your number? You're gone, let's go. You had a receptionist there. I mean, there was working the reservations, the tables, and anybody that needed to come in, not a receptionist, a host, I apologize. I'm still thinking about my old job, dude, But so you'd have a host. I mean, it was a big shindig going on there. And so growing up in that, it's like, shit comes natural to me. A restaurant common sense, not a lot of people have it. And I got to work. So working at, first of all, the pop-up gentleman let me work with them. Great. I mean, this guy, they know what they're doing. But I ain't gonna lie, I helped influence a little bit of stuff too. And I would be stupid if I said I don't ever learn something whenever I go somewhere.
Yeah, of
but I know
course.
what I have to offer, dude. I'm like a meteor. I'll come flying into your life, and I don't have the best advice, but I'll make you feel good. I'll show you how to treat people, and I'll leave a nice little taste. That's the one thing I'm gonna say that I'm confident in, is that when you meet me and you get the full experience, you'll never forget me. But I do remember that guy. It could be 20 years later, you see my obituary and be like, I know that guy. That guy was fucking crazy.
You are truly the best at it.
You know-
brother. You are the best at leaving a perfect mark on somebody. The word perfect is very, very daring to use, but my man, if I would ever have to define leaving a mark on somebody, you do it perfectly.
Man, Danny, that means the world to me. And you know what? It's like a watermark on a picture, right? When people do that. And people get agitated or the people that get upset when I toot my own horn. Yes, I am tooting my own. That is what I feel about myself. Those are the people that I don't need around me. It's like, what do you mean you don't? I know for a fact that you're the one that's going to be thinking about it, because you're the one that's man, anybody that hates is truly, truly, truly somebody that is one of your biggest lovers but doesn't know how to express it, whether it be a family thing trickled down from years, whatever it might be in your childhood that you got. I don't care and I don't know, but I genuinely try to be a good person. Now, am I human? Will I play games back once in a while? Sure. But the problem with me is if you I'm not even going to say the F word. If you try to with me, I will push your buttons back, or not only that, I don't have anything to lose, right? Everybody's like, well, the guy that has everything to lose is the one to worry about. Nah, motherfucker, I ain't got nothing to lose. You got businesses, dude, don't try to tear me down because I'll bring you down with me. Being so poetic, I love doing freestyle rap. I like writing poems. I like talking, obviously. You can tell I like my own voice. I'm a narcissist with my voice, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I enjoy it. My chakra, my throat chakra. I've had many people that study chakra be like, damn, dude, you got a good throat chakra. Now, I don't know how, I don't know. I don't want to go about throat, hey, but it is, if you look into like the spiritual world and things like that, I understand what my tools are and what my power is. Yeah. I am human. I'll go home and think about, dang, did I bother that person? Or man, I hope these guys want to be my friend. Well, in all reality, they're the ones that are being influenced or thinking about what I did. I started working with another place after working with this one pop-up. And like I said, working with all these places, I learned a lot. I have no hate for nobody. But boy, it's learning. The reason God put me there was to see what to do, and definitely the biggest things I learned is what not to do. Hey, you could show me what to do, I get it, but if I see you doing something that I ain't gonna do, I'm like, I don't know, like I like to be comfortable in a restaurant. I want it to be, good temperature or really clean, so there's certain things and ways that are being done that I see that no big deal, but it's something I wouldn't do, and so. I also see that I know that the people that can be ruthless and mean to me also think about how nice I can be to them. Yeah. Hey, don't get me wrong. That's the thing. Like, I ain't like perfect. You're tripping. I know I can be an asshole. I got more bad days right now than good days because I'm down. Like we talk about, life is like a heartbeat, like the heartbeat machine, ding, 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 ding. And right now I'm down and it's beautiful. And I'm trying. There's another reason why coming on here and being able to express myself and say things, I appreciate everybody around me. I really do have love for everybody. And I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'll come for somebody or anything like that. It's more so like you said, doing God's work, being a godly human being, trying not to, what do you call that? React. Yeah. Oh, dude, reaction. What the fuck? So that's my biggest thing is I don't want to react.
I'm having a problem with that.
Yeah.
I got to be mindful.
It is one of those things. But I see the little jabs that, social media accounts, this and that, whatever it might be towards me or whatever. I got let in really close to like a really big social media account, and it was awesome, bro. Cool. I even tried after, and I'm still cool with everybody, but I got to see how things work, and that's not how I do it, So again, I'm not trying to be but I see how it trickles down, who works underneath. It was a blessing for me to see it, to understand that at almost 40 years old, I don't want to do any of that. Yeah. But it was also a blessing to meet these people. I like humans and I want to be your friend. Do I want to work with them? No. It's like, what do they say? It's okay to like the art, but not the artist, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, dude, doesn't mean we got to be best friends, and that's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm almost 10 years older than you. I'm an old man. I got more gray in my beard than your dad does. Get the fuck out of here, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I meet their parents and I'm like, damn, we're the same age.
Yeah, no, it's true, bro. It's important that you notice that when you are with these people and you go with high intentions. You're like, you know what? I'm a great guy. I love everybody, etc. But you're also seeing what to go lean on and what to avoid. Yeah. You're very, very smart for doing that, man. So I always kind of run tests on people without even them noticing.
Now that you've pointed that out, it's like subconsciously that is what was going on. And I knew that. And because you're right, after sitting in the room with these people and listening to the conversations that were had, it's like and you're talking about morals and respect. You're 100% right. I don't want to be around that junk. If someone walks away and then I'm hearing them do that, I don't condone that. I don't want to be around that. You're right, 100%. But also, it was I remember like being around, let's say, this certain group of people and like listening to the conversation and being like, it's not that I have better conversations, but dang, I feel dumber. Like, I'm not trying to be hey,
It's true though. I know what you
take
what you mean.
beautiful pictures, things are posted, it's great.
Yeah.
But as far as like conversational skills or whatever you want, communication, it's like, oh, dude, you know,
It's like you're a frat boy. You know what I mean?
That's you know, and then like it's I agree with you on that. I can't be. That's what I was talking about, it being a blessing happening so fast. Oh, everything was going so good, and then by the end of the day, boom! It was one of those things where, how nice was that for God to be like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna let you in to see what it's about," and then when you see that it's not what you want to be, and I am not knocking anybody's success. I love it, you know, but it was definitely not my style. I'm an authentic 1,000,000,000,000,000,000% real dude down to the, I'll tell you my bra size if I had one, dog, even though I do have boobs. I'm just telling you, you know, like, I don't care, dude. It doesn't bother me. That's vulnerability. I prefer being vulnerable. I'll walk into a room and let people know everything about me, even if I don't know them. You know why? Because what are you going to do? Use it against me? How? I don't care. Unless I give you my credit card number, then you're going to use my money. You know, but I'm just saying, that's the kind of power I prefer to have.
Yes.
You be as secretive all you want, dog. I don't care. I will tell you everything, because when I walk around like that, it's like, cool, dude. Like, but that's my opinion. Like, I don't even care. You want to be fucking Batman and secretive and live in a cave? I love Batman. He still kills it, you know? He still kills it. But I'm the guy up on the surface laughing his ass off. I'm more of the Joker, but I'm not an asshole. You know, I'm you know, whatever. But yeah, it just comes down to being a good person. The thing is, as soon as I find out you're not, dude, it's being a good person to somebody new, and then them being an asshole and you being an asshole back doesn't make you a bad person. You just, and I'm not trying to reciprocate it. I'm just trying to set a boundary, like, oh, just so you know, you can't step on me. That's all I'm trying to get to. So I'm a hella good person. I'll come in and make you all laugh. Everything's great. But I hate when these bad people, when I come in, fish for the bad, so that when you do react, they have something now go, see, I told you he's an asshole. But it's like, dude, you just tried to choke me, and I did a natural reflex by getting you off, and you're going, see, he's an asshole. And it's like, no. You wanted that reaction. These are these little games that I don't have time for. It's like fucking crazy. That's what the internet does. That's what having tablets as kids do to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's whatever, bro. Like, I ain't mad at any of it. Oh, dude, there's so much that's happened in that. And the cool thing was, when I first got into the pop-up community, again, very blessed that I got welcome into, it's not a community. The people that know each other are people that are paying the same people for the social media. So it wasn't you're in a community if you're like either paying or giving in some way. Otherwise, there's so many pop-ups that don't belong to that little niche, which is cool. You know, it may just a lot of things that I've noticed. Hey, man, the Bay Area pop-up scene is amazing. Ain't nobody gonna take it over. I don't care how big your pop-up is. There's enough room for 1,000,000 of them, right? So I promote everybody that I feel not only has a good product, because you don't have the best, stuff it up your ass. You've got something that's good enough. I have never in my life been like, this is the best, and never had something better. You're tripping. And you know what else matters is the mood you're in. That does matter. Dude, if you're in a shitty mood, food don't taste the same. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what kind of play you playing on. So there's so much to it. And if you're under 260 pounds, get the fuck out of my face about food reviews. Unless you're sweating when you talk like me, butter, you know what I mean? No, I do. I like everybody with their food reviews, but the thing that kills me is when anybody uses the best, like trips me out. There's no such thing. I think that it should be, people should use the term, which I'm going to give up my catch line, which I'm sure everybody's going to has used 1,000 times anyways, but you know, it's not, is it worth it? That's all. Is it worth the drive? Is it worth the money? It's not, is it the best? I don't give a fuck about that bullshit. That used to be back in YouTube 2010. People say the best. But I just firmly believe that there's so many places out there that are worth it, that even the classic word of mouth works just as good as, paid social media posts or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. But the personal development part about it, this is all part of my journey. The best part about it was when I am feeling down, I do try to think about how, in my eyes, in my opinion, everything happens for a reason. I know there's free will and all that, but everything happens in my life for a reason, and I just have to enjoy the ups and the downs. But when I'm down, I'm feeling it. I'm not trying to block it out. I'm trying to really just
Embrace it.
embrace it. Yeah, I mean, I smoke weed, don't get me wrong, but that stuff, I've been doing that so much for years that I still feel my feelings, bro. I mean, but that's another thing that I'm trying to cut back on a bit. It's one of those things that, do I really need that? It's just something that I've been doing for a long time. I introduced alcohol back like maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago or something like that. And I only drank like once or twice, but I haven't drank since. So I know that my body's like, okay, so we're enjoying this, I'm not craving it or nothing. And I firmly believe that a lot of it was due to my job that I quit in January.
Yeah.
And now that it's taken me a while to detox from all of it. It's been about, since January. So I want to start working out with Ivan again. There's a lot of things. I know that that's the root of it. Daniel, I know the root of it for me. When I wake up and I'm not feeling it, and I'm not talking about working out, I'm just talking about feeling my day and having more days like that than, having 4 days like that a week than 3, and 3 good days. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like working out or walking or anything like that, getting some sun, that stuff works big time. And that's where I'm at. I mean, I came on the show to literally be like, hey, everybody, I'm still at my personal rock bottom. I mean, I know when people think rock bottom, they're thinking needles sticking out of their arm or something, but it ain't like that. This is my personal right now. I feel like, I'm not really steady working, but I'm steady watching. I'm steady learning. And this is the happiest broke as far as money-wise that I've ever been. I was miserable at my job and I had money. Right now, I'm a lot happier not doing what I was doing and not having as much money. But, this is all a learning lesson. And not only that, I grew up in a family where everybody had like Cadillacs, Lincolns, big restaurants, gold chains, all the rest. It still flows out a little bit. I like my gold. But I'm trying to live like a very minimalist life. Is that what you would say?
Yeah.
Minimal life. I just, I'm trying to live a simple life because that's least amount of stress. And my grandfather that just recently passed away, he used to tell me that that's kind of late, you're being lazy, and I understand that. But what I wanted to do was break myself down and start reintroducing the responsibilities that I want. Instead of having things that I thought I needed, credit card bill accumulated when I was younger. Like, I don't want that. So what am I going to do about it now? So I'm going to start doing things to bring those responsibilities back that would help. I mean, that's the stuff. What idle hands are the devil's playground, So when you're not busy, it's killing me. The thing that kills me, Dan, is I'm a whole different person when I'm 300 pounds. At 230, when I'm working out with Ivan, I want to start my own gym. I told Ivan, I'm going to start my own gym. I'm going to help you. We're going to do it. At 300 pounds, I'm like, maybe I'll go back into the food industry, this and that. So right now I'm trying to distinguish what's easy for me or what do I want to challenge myself with. Bro, a podcast, I would love to have my own podcast. I would love to be a host somewhere else but as far as getting back into the food industry, like, I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes, but dog, I'd kill it because you'd get I'll make a taco or a cheeseburger or a fucking, pizza, but you're going to get a side of Pete with it. And I'm sorry, big dog, I got a personality and I will toot my horn. I see these people trying to have personality. I get it. Hey, do what you got to do, baby. Do it. But you ain't never going to have what I got. So I don't need to waste my time with food. Yeah. I've been fucking in the food industry since before anybody could even fucking breathe, dog, as far as people I know. So I'm not even tripping off it. 9, 10 years, 10, 12, 13. I'm 40 years old. I grew up, I was born into it. So maybe the food isn't it, dude. My grandfather, my dad, professional host. My last job, I was hosting. I was on a first name basis with the founders. I mean, we were killing it. So if I look back at what the blessing was, it's like, okay, so maybe I wasn't supposed to go there to make $1 million, but I was supposed to go there to make $1 million million contacts as far as networking, and also to boost my confidence. You know, after being at this company, I made my own brand at another company. So it's like my confidence, like I get it. Hey man, if I was anybody else and I, you know, it's like, it's super hard for me to explain. I didn't, as a human being, I want to be upset that I left my job that could have had potential for money. But as a spiritual person, I realized that that was a stepping stone for me to realize what my potential is.
Yeah.
Damn, that felt good to say.
No,
but that's
bro.
what it is.
But the fact that you were so daring and very risk-taking to be able to make that leap, bro, I applaud you for that, because it's very difficult for a lot of people to make. I mean, you hear that. I think there was like this movie director who was doing so well within movies and then decided, he was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. And then he became an artist, just drawing. That's it. Like, and people are like, what, are you stupid? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, they're more focused on the profits of his career rather than his, like, no, I actually feel whole as an individual by doing this.
Yeah.
So you leaving that environment to really prioritize yourself, bro, that's a flex.
I agree with you. There was a lady at Facebook that was an engineer, and she left because she was literally at a breaking point and was like, I am not doing this anymore. And what did she do? She didn't even have a plan. She went home in a week. She started watching not art.
Yeah.
Because she had contacts at Facebook, she went back and started doing not art inside lobbies at Facebook,
Crazy.
making money. So I agree with you. I met a lady at my last job that was an engineer for as a tech engineer, and she quit to do all the plants. She does all the designing of the plants in every lobby. And I'm like, you know, now that's an inspiration. Now, don't get me wrong. I quit my job for my aspirations and do all this stuff, but I thought that I would be a lot further along than I am now. So like, I don't want to act like I'm some guy that quit and started the next day. I had a lot of emotions and things that I'm feeling. My grandfather, who was literally my dad, just passed away like, let me think, like about a month ago or so now. And my grandfather, who passed away about a month ago, he, that was another kick, you know, he got sick. So we were there for about a month before, and then him passing, it was a big deal. He was in the fire department, so we had a lot of stuff to do. And I had to deal with those emotions, you know what I mean? And sometimes trying to push through it too fast doesn't work. So, you know, I put a lot of stress on myself every day as far as like thinking about where I think I should be. But the amount of experience that I've gotten the past, 8-9 months or whatever it might be, has been pretty amazing, you know. And like I said, I've learned a lot of what to do. I haven't started my pop-up. I'm not going to talk like I'm some guy that went down and tried to start it. I'm all talk right now.
As long as you start, man. And honestly, the experience that you are accumulating right now, it's all going to benefit long-term. Like I told my cousins this recently. I was like, because they go through it. And I tell them, I was like, look, you know, you guys probably don't feel this right now, but suffering actually is great benefit to you. I was like, I know you don't want to deal with it. You are honestly too young to be dealing with what you're doing right now, but long-term, it will benefit you so much. And you're probably not, say, appreciated of it right now, but down the road, you're going to be like, wow, I needed this.
Yes.
Because that's something that I told you over the phone. I was saying that I would always bet on the person who's an underdog rather than somebody who is spoon-fed their entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
So with your going through, like when it comes to when you were talking about like, say, the ups and downs, bro, suffering, man, even though it don't feel good, it's
beautiful.
Very, very good for you and beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're taught that it's not, but it's beautiful. It is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself that every day, but you are 100% right. But it is so beautiful. And, you know, to kind of reflect on what you had just said, you're right. The experience and all of that I'm getting right now, it's a one of a kind. It's, when you say to your cousin that later on down the line, that is some of the most amazing aha moments that I've realized in my life. And in the moment of feeling that pain or feeling that discomfort or whatever it might be that we said is beautiful, the beautiful part about it is when you're feeling the pain is to remind yourself that in 6 minutes, 6 days, 6 months, or 6 years, whatever it might be, you're going to go, oh shit, that's why that happened. It pivoted me to go this way. It made me do this. It helped me get a better relationship with this person. Hey man, sometimes you get an argument with a family member.
Yeah.
In the moment, you're like, damn, I didn't want to get in a fight with that person. But dude, you know, maybe not 10 out of 10, but 8 times out of 10, you know, the relationship is stronger after that.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're two mature people and you're able to put your egos aside and talk, be like, hey, man, I actually love you. The reason I got fired up is because I care.
Yeah.
That's what I try to tell people. The reason people argue is not just ego. It's because you care enough, you know. And if you're egotistical, then the ego will take over and you'll be arguing for just that reason. But a lot of times when it's family members and things like that, it's because we care, you know. I try to remind people that, you know, even like friends and stuff. It's like, bro, I'm only saying this because I care, you know. I don't want you to be upset because you think I got time to just fucking say something. I'm not. I'm saying it because I genuinely care. And again, time is money. Time is money, they say, right? I don't like to say that because I don't give a fuck about money. And I know I do care about money, and I hate when I say it like that. I just say it like that. So
It's
I'm not,
only, I mean, bro, I understand where you're coming from. Money is very evil when used the wrong way.
Yeah.
But obviously, when it comes to saying, if I want to say spoil my niece and take her out to dinner,
Yep.
that is a good benefit to like money.
Oh, freedom.
If I want to obviously pay for bills, pay for the mortgage, pay for, oh my God, I gotta fix my tire, etc. Money helps with that.
Yeah.
So, but when money is used, I would say, let me see, drugs, dealing, prostitution, shit like that. That's
Yeah.
evil.
When feelings are involved with money, it's junk. When money's used as a tool, I agree with you. I need freedom. I want to see my family members in Greece. I need money to go travel. That's what I exactly.
Yes.
But as far as like having too much and things like that, again, I can sit across from a table from somebody that wants, dude, if you're working hard enough and you want to accumulate that stuff, I think that is amazing. But don't knock me for walking around in sandals because I choose not to have, you know, like I've had a bunch of cars throughout my life. I like, you know, just a lot of things that has, when I was coming up, sounded cool. Like, I want all this stuff and it's great. You know, I have trinkets and all this stuff in my room and all these things, and I love it, but it's to a point where, you know what it was? My grandpa passed away, and a lot of stuff of his, because before he passed, he started telling people where he wanted to give them. So as soon as he passed, people took it. And to see somebody stripped so fast of things that they accumulated, it's like you come into the world with nothing, and when you leave, baby, bye-bye. So, of course I want things for my family members to have. If I had kids, dude, what a different motivation I'd have. Duh. Like, of course I want to leave a piece of property for my kids, you know?
Yes.
But until I start fucking popping them out, I am kind of just focused on what I'm doing, you know? And I think that what I do is when they say, like, go with the flow, of course, free will, I can make... I know subconsciously, Danny Gonzalez, that if I wanted everything that I wanted, I would have it right now. But something in my body, I watched my father and my grandfather die super young because they had these badass restaurants and everything and worked their ass off and did all this shit. For what? To die young because they, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying there isn't a good right way to do things, this and that, but, you know, and it's great to have all the fame and all the popularity. Look, all I ever wanted was what my grandfather and my dad had. And if you want me to completely tell you why I believe in God, is because if you take what I did over at the last company I was at, and then you take what my grandfather did, to me, it was my own version. My grandfather wasn't just a restaurateur. He was a professional host. So as a professional host, for years, I thought, oh, dude, I want a restaurant. I want to cook like my grandpa. Dude, my grandpa didn't give a fuck about the steaks. He cared about the people out in front and laughing with them. And it hit me. Dude, it took me like 30-something years to be like looking at the pictures of him. And I'm like, oh, and the kitchen is serious in the front. And then all the news articles about him said, Pete Kouretas, professional host. Pete Kouretas, host. I'm like, oh, duh. So I get this job at the company. I try to be a receptionist, you know, 8 years ago, 7. They tell me to go be a greeter, right? So then what do? Greeter is somewhat of a host. I turn that stupid position into Peter the Greeter. It turns into this dumb thing. It's not a lot of money, but basically proving to myself, hey, dude,
you said you wanted to do like your grandpa. You're not going to do identical. We're not going to, God's not going to give me another Zorbas and call, best he can do is call me my grandfather's name, which is Pete Kouretas. Him and I are the same name. And what did I do? I went to that company and I handled business. And I didn't even fucking try, bro. I did that on my own terms, my own way. If I put a little more effort into it, I think. So that was my wake-up call. I have a food problem. I'm a food addict, and that's 100% it. I mean, I can't keep myself under 300 pounds if I don't watch out,
Yeah.
So being around food, I love it, bro. Like, again, back to people that think they know. Dog, I dream about cheeseburgers. I wake up with recipes like, oh, shit, I got to try that.
You wake up, you're like, tomatoes.
No, dude, 100%. Like, everybody's and they laugh. It is what it is. But that's me. So maybe it's not about being around food, Danny. Maybe I am still supposed to, like, having this conversation right now. Dude, I'm reflecting out loud on things that I needed to talk about. Like, this is not just for me to be on the show and talk. This is for me to reflect on things that have been inside me that need to come out. And so I just feel like, doing the food thing, maybe being pushed this long and not opening it is me seriously subconsciously knowing that it's not so much the food aspect, bro. My forte and uniqueness comes from this. Comes from seeing me and talking to me and letting me have a conversation with you. You won't be me. You can't be me. Don't paint me. Don't look at me. And I can't be you. So I love the amount of influence I have on people. I see people's social medias and I see them trying fucking hard. After I told them, hey, maybe you should show your face a little more, like whatever. I get it. I know what I'm about. I know my power. I came from one of the biggest companies in the world. I watched how it works. I danced around it. So, marketing, games, and then growing up in the restaurant business, man, I seen it all. I've been over there. And these two aspects, I ain't no mechanic. Don't talk to me about cars. I don't know shit. But I can lower them and polish them up with my, nice, but I don't know. I try to stay in my own lane, but I feel like I'm trying to figure out how can I do food and hosting, or maybe not even food, maybe just hosting, because it's just tripping me out. I mean, look at me. I'm so much in the air, Danny. It's crazy. And I think that's the beautiful thing. I feel like a lot of people feel this way. Nobody needs to know right away. I mean, I'm 38. I'm almost going to be 39 in February. So I feel like, of course, the first thing I look at, it says Sparta. Sparta, bro. Look at, where's it at? I got the Sparta tattoo. Hey, it's time. Everything comes in time. Stay ambitious. And again, I'm saying this for myself. Move. I have to move, bro. I'm so glad I came to talk today and I'm putting this out there because I'm not moving as much as I need to. So, I stopped eating as much processed foods. Don't get me wrong. I still,
as do I. Don't, bro, we are not robots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are not robots. Like, say 2 weeks ago, drank with the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what? Like, I don't see it to me as, like, say, the devil unless I am abusing it.
100%.
Then that's an issue.
So when I was working at the last job, we had weekends off. Dude, I was so depressed that on Fridays, I would go to like Safeway or somewhere and just get a bunch of frozen foods and eat it all weekend. Like horrible things.
Bagel bites.
Dude, I mean, hey, you're laughing, but they should name them after me with the amount of bagel bites I ate, But I was the king of all of that. It took 9 months now where I don't eat any of that anymore on the regular because first off, I don't have the money to go to the store like that. Second off, it's as far as Whole Foods, I'm just kind of riding a wave as far as where it's just, I don't know why it's worked out that way, but I've just been eating a lot more Whole Foods. And it's not because I've even been trying. But dude, the amount of energy that I've got back, my bloatedness. Oh man. As a guy that's already big, when you get bloated and you're already big, you can tell. Like your shirts don't fit, and like things like that. And it's like, so the no alcohol, the less amount of frozen foods that I've been eating because not having as much money, things like that help me, are helping me without even knowing. So it's almost like a kickstart without kickstarting. It's just, I just came on here because I like making myself vulnerable. I want to talk about what I'm going through. And if anybody ever has any questions, they can even ask you to hit me. And I have no problem talking about what I'm going through. I mean, my eyesight in my right eye, I remember that was the last time I went on the show. Man, I'll tell you something right now.
You were covering your eyes.
That's what, I had my eye. And the thing is I had lost 100 pounds working out with Ivan, got my favorite lobby, doing a great thing at the job. The day of getting the lobby, everything working out, I lost eyesight in my right eye. And let me tell you something, Daniel, I was just saying, I don't want to cry wolf. It is what it is. But when that happened, it's not something like on your ear where you don't think about until the mirror. You can see it on the mirror. Yeah. I have to look out my eye every day. So all you see is hazy around the edges. It's not poor me, but it was something to be adjusted to. I just got my brand new position. I just got promoted. I can't see out of my eye. Dude, if you've ever taken glaucoma eye drops, these things not only burn, but they make you feel like shit. So not only am I trying to talk to people in the lobby, but you have all this anxiety from the medicine and all this shit so that's where I spiraled. I stopped working out when I had eye surgery. They told me I couldn't work out for 3 weeks, and all it took was about 3 weeks and medicine that made me feel like shit, and I was done. I spiraled. So, it literally can happen for me that quick. And if maybe somebody's never even felt like they've ever picked themselves up before, I feel like everybody should know that it doesn't matter if you've ever done it once, if you've done it 10 times, and if you've never done it, ask for help. Man, I'm a crybaby. I love crying because it's not only expressing myself, but it's detoxing myself of something that I need to say, feel, whatever it might be. So whether I'm happy or sad, whatever, but I reached out to you. I mean, come on, I didn't talk to you in how long? I felt so lost, a few weeks ago after my grandfather passed away. I wasn't working out. I'm not making as much money as I would like. So I reached out to you. And so it's the most vulnerable thing I've ever done. I was crying on the phone to you saying, hey, man, I just need to talk to somebody for a minute because if I don't let somebody know what I'm going through, or maybe, it's one thing to talk to family, but it's another thing to talk to a friend or somebody because, family members see where you came from and friends that you've just met see your potential. And we've talked about that. Like, I love my family members, but I'm always going to be little Pete, little Pete. And everybody supports me. It's nothing bad. I support all my family members, but it's the same for me. It's like, but it's crazy how you'll meet somebody new and they'll be like, dang, dude, you got so much potential. And I'm like, really? That's not what I hear all the time. Like, what the fuck? Maybe I'm not used to that, So, but reaching out to you was one of the biggest blessings, and it has nothing to do with anything other than community, family, friends, networking, love, compassion. I can put it all into a bubble that I feel like should be talked about more, being at, I hate using the term rock bottom, but being at your own version of rock bottom. And my version of rock bottom right now might not be my version of rock bottom in 10 years, which I don't want. Yeah. And that's another thing. You can't be down on yourself if you're up and then down. Like me, I don't want to be going up and down from 300 pounds to 200 pounds all my life, right? I would like to be consistent across the board. But if something happens, don't be down on yourself. That's the word. That's the first step to failure, is being, it's okay to have expectations a little bit for what you expect, because expectations will kill your happiness, bro. Don't expect, just kind of accept. But certain things I feel like you can control, like working out, and I'm not, or smoking weed, and I am. It's things like, dude, I'm not dumb. I don't want to be on this podcast acting like I'm spitting advice when it's not about that. It's about what I'm feeling and what I've been through before. So like, I lost 220 pounds at 21 years old. I have done that. So if you want to ask me about losing weight, I know how to do it. Do I look like Mr. Lose Weight? No, but I know and what to do, and I know how to do it. I've done it, numerous times, and it's the amount of experience that you get from it. I think that right now I'm at the ledge and getting ready to dive into success. And when I say success, I don't mean money. That will come. I'm talking about health. I'm talking about my relationships. They get rocky when I'm not feeling myself. They do. My brother and I have the best relationship right now that we've ever had. And we recently we had blown up on it. We had just gotten into it a little bit. And then by the end of it, we were hugging, dog. We were hugging and crying and saying how much we love each other. And my brother and I are tight. Like, You know, dude, I don't want to, we don't ever want to fight, especially physical or anything. Why? That's our team. That's my team, you know? And
It's a unit.
the one thing I learned is like, you know, together we can conquer anything, you know, all of my family together. That's a good example you have. You and your family are super tight, your brothers, all you guys. And that's all I want. And so my brother and I have been really tight lately, you know, and so it's nice. It's really good. And we both are at the house with my mom, protecting my mom, I feel like, you know, so that's been a real good thing. Yeah, and I don't mean to mumble or nothing. I'm just kind of letting people know that I am kind of just putting. There ain't nothing crazy to it, you know. Like I want to start working out with Ivan and doing martial arts again. And I wasn't really doing martial arts, but hitting the bag and stuff. And because it's nice when you feel like you can. It makes you feel good like a man. And I'm going to say it like that. It makes you just feel good that you're able to hit the bag and you know what you're doing when it comes to like fighting now and not being afraid of anybody, which nobody should be afraid of anybody anyways. You know, I don't like that. I don't like, it's like, I won't be my own protector. You know what I mean? Yes. I am my own protector. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, everybody's going to have their own things. Can we put our egos aside? And my brother and I, we have grown so much. And and I hope he doesn't mind that I'm talking about it, but I love my brother. And so I'm just, my dad would be proud with where we are right now. You know, losing our dad at such a young age, it was, you know, our relationship was, it's different when you don't have your dad there, you know what I mean? So, but him and I have grown so much. And so that's another thing that I'm working on right now. So, you know, that's nice that I'm talking out loud because was this time wasted? No. This time is I have developed a better relationship with my brother, my mom. My grandfather passed away. And so our whole relationship with my grandmother's house and the way we're spending time over there has changed. And so working for these other pop-ups and restaurants has taught me a lot of things. Like what not to do and what to do also, but just and who I want to be around and who I don't want to be around, you know, it's been a beautiful struggle and I'm still there. And I think the breakthrough is coming soon. And I don't mean like I'm sitting on the couch waiting for it. Yeah. But when I am doing something as far as working out or whatever, I ain't gonna lie, every single time there's been like this push. It was like, it's like when somebody's like, when is the right time? A lot of people are like, well, you got to go with, you don't like it. And you're right, 100%. But I don't mean like I started and I woke up and I was like, oh, I want to go to the gym today. I just meant like there was that oomph to push me over that. So it's not, I know for a fact I could have started yesterday or 3 weeks ago, but for some reason, God has me feeling this pain a little bit longer. And whether you want to look at it that way or not, or you want to say it's an excuse for me, but since I have a track record of picking myself up, I'm able to say that confidently that every time I have been able to pick myself up, there's just been, you wake up and it's like, snap, there it is. That's what I was waiting for. You needed me for some reason to feel that for that long so that I had enough motivation to just kickstart it, you know? Yeah. So
are you maybe wondering what you want to venture into? Because going back to lanes, you said, I want to stay in my own lane, but you are very skilled at multiple lanes. So maybe is that why it's kind of difficult to kind of choose what do I want to touch? What do I want to start? Because you are very, very diversified and you have a skill set in so many lanes. Is that why you kind of have like it could be.
I never even, and this is again, talking to somebody out loud. I never thought of it that way, Dan. I never had, and I'm not going to try to be an ass, but I never had an issue with being like, not talentless, but I never had an issue with like catching on to things. So like cooking, you know, playing instruments, being a professional host. I did stand-up comedy. I think that you hit the nail on the head. I think having like, what do I really want to focus my time on? Because I can do any of it. Yeah. And I don't want to be like,
it's
like,
true,
I don't want to toot my own horn, but if I focus on what I want to do, I can do it. I'm glad you said that. And it makes sense. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like I keep blaming it on, but I want to do all of it. And the whole jack of all trades, that's not even like, that's not even the whole quote. It's like jack of all trades, master of many things, something like, you know, so I just feel like I don't know. Is it podcasting? Man, I love talking into the microphone. It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing in the world. So I don't know. Is it, I love cooking. It's my favorite thing
Yeah.
in the world, you know? So it's a juggle. This was like the beginning of kind of organizing thoughts, I feel like, you know, and I'm not somebody that started a business or somebody here to give advice on how good my business has done. I'm not Mr. All Talk, but I got great ideas. I think that I'm being slingshotted, and then once it's time for me to let go and start or whatever I'm doing, it'll be great. It'll be awesome. It'll be amazing. And so this is all just part of my story. Maybe I'm supposed to write a book. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean?
Down
Like,
the road for sure.
Yeah, you know.
Can I tell you a story? Because I was in the same boat as you when I finished my athletics. I was trying to do a variety of things all at the same time, and until somebody hit me, my mother in particular, she said, "You are slowing down progress because you're so focused on so many things all at once." I am not a multitasker. I am in certain things, but not when it comes to different ventures and then putting them all together and trying to do them all at the same time. It's very, very unrealistic.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do was, in a way, master something.
Okay.
And then when you develop a skill set and you feel like you kind of honed it, now move on to the next. So when I got involved into the whole media space, I put in the years, I put in the time, I put it in the editing, I put in the work to the point where it is as easy as breathing. Same thing going for you. When it comes to the kitchen, when it comes to food, when it comes to restaurants, it is easy as breathing.
Yeah.
To the point where ever since you walk into one, you're like, if I were to have my own, this would be over there.
Yeah.
This would be over here. We would talk and represent ourselves this way. You know what I mean? So when you, I don't like saying the word master or specialist or something like, because there's always room to grow. But when you feel like you kind of honed it, now it's time to like, what other skill set do I want to grow and enhance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like
Rather
that.
than just putting it all together and just confusing yourself and being like, oh my God, what am I doing with all this? It'll overwhelm you and it'll burn you out, man. From experience of my own. And even to this day, I have to do things one at a time. I can't do things like, there are days for the media. There are days when it comes to investing. There are days when it comes, I'm sitting in front of the charts. There are days to network. There are days for clients. I can't do all of that at once in a specific day.
Yeah.
I'll die.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. You know what I mean?
I
So
love this.
since you are so skilled at many, many ventures, it's almost like, what do I want to enhance within each skill set?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And deciding which one comes first, which one comes second, third, fourth, and fifth. We don't know the answers to all this, man. I don't, for God's sakes. Even though I've been doing this for many years,
Yeah.
I am still watching videos and be like, what is this guy doing for his production?
Yeah.
What in the world is this? Like, what could I use to be able to enhance my skill set? It never ends. And it goes back again to life, man. Like, you know how you said it's like life is like a heartbeat. It's very, very up and down. It's beep, boop, beep, boop,
Yep.
beep. That's within all this. I've had a few rock bottoms. I know there's going to be a bigger one. Say when I have children, right? What if my wife is pregnant? God forbid. I'm knocking on wood right now. God forbid, baby doesn't make it. That is a big rock bottom.
Yep.
Say that experience causes me and my wife to divorce. That is another rock bottom.
Yeah.
Right now, things are good. They are. Down the road, something bad will happen. But I need to make sure right now that I'm building myself and molding myself to make sure I'm okay and I'm going to be ready to pick myself up afterwards.
Yeah. I love that.
But it's hard, man. When that day comes, when a hard day comes, it's going to sting like a motherfucker. But I need to be ready for that day. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about sculpting us right now.
Yeah.
Like, the hard stuff that you're going through right now, it's just sculpting you.
Yeah.
It's just sculpting you. So that's what we do every single day. Every
No,
single
you're
day, whether
right.
it be in the gym, reading, job, career, etc. You're always sculpting yourself, man, making yourself better every single day. As long as you're doing that, you're going to see the fruits. Maybe not tomorrow or next week, but down the road you will. It
Yeah.
just accumulates, man, over time.
And that's you are 1000% right. Especially, I feel like you were talking about having the tools for later, right? I mean, going through this now. For instance, when my dad passed away when I was 15, I didn't have the tools on how to process that emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, your
Who
your
does?
parent,
Yeah, who does, man?
even
That's
as an
tough.
adult, but at least
Yeah.
as an adult. But you're right. Every time I do hit rock bottom or I am down, it's giving me the tools for the next time. I got more tools on my tool belt, if you want to paint a picture like that, where if something does happen, God forbid, where a divorce or some kind of another rock bottom later on in life, having the tools developed now while I am where I am or whoever, but you're 100% right about having like, what did you say? Like having having my skill set and like honing in on one. It's really hard for me to like focus on one because I feel like I want to do everything, and that's the problem.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I have to slap myself some days. Even
Yeah.
to this day, I'm like, dude, chill out a little bit. Relax. You can't do everything.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's because I feel like because I am low right now, not making as much money. I don't have something steady or anything like that. So then what am I doing? I'm just grabbing. Oh, well, I quit this. I could do this really quick. And it's like, that's not the point. The point is, what if you close your eyes, what is the first thing you could think of you want to do? And to be honest with you, that's what, even like meditating and all that, but that's where I am right now with all of that. And I feel like that, you talking about having tools for later, that is such a big deal for me to look at it that way. Like, and like you said, as long as I'm bettering myself, dude, I've been Mr. Stagnant. And, but then when I stop thinking like that and go, well, wait a minute, you quit a job you didn't like. That's a big deal. Okay. You are constantly thinking about bettering yourself. Right. So at least that's all my mind. When I first quit my job, I tried to work out with Ivan every day. So that means I jumped right into trying to better myself, right? So I worked, as soon as I left the job, I had made contacts with some of the people that worked in San Jose, like downtown San Jose festivals and things like that. There was a lady named Haley Cardamon. Oh, shout out to her, bro. Amazing. She does the San Jose Day Festival, and she let me volunteer. Coolest experience in the world. So when I look back to what I've actually done as a human, maybe not like as far as money-wise or what society would say is successful, I took the last 8 months to really kind of try to find myself. I never did volunteer work, so volunteering, quitting a job I didn't like, reconnecting with friends a little bit more, trying to work out, but then I stopped. So that's where I'm at now. So it's really a beautiful thing to hear you talk about, like, well, as long as you're trying to be a better version of yourself than yesterday, this and that. And that's why I hit you up. And that's why I'm here today, is to kind of put myself under the limelight a little bit and kind of say, hey man, if you're not going to do it on your own, you're going to let everybody know that you're here and you're trying to start, so that's where I'm at. I mean, am I going to start working out tomorrow? Maybe, probably going for walks, I don't know, but I hope that the next time I get to step on the show or the next time I talk to you, I am 5 steps forward. And because of these kind of motivational talks that we're having between each other and with anybody else who likes to listen, it sparks something. It's like a campfire, you can't have a fire without a fucking spark of light. So it's got to start somewhere. I feel like my pilot light, a pilot light for a water heater or whatever, you know what a pilot light is. I feel like my pilot light is unlit once in a while. And so doing things like this lights my pilot light to be able to start that burner again. So, again, a lot of tough guys. There's a lot of tough guys out there that can pull themselves up that aren't as emotional and all that. And if you ask me right now, if I was in the Wild West, would I make it? Probably not, because I'm a little bitch. I'm crying right now about being down and out. But I know some guys that'll eat your face that don't stop crying and pick yourself up. I get it. Everybody's different. I've met some women that can body slam me, dog. I've met some dudes that cry more than I do, So everybody's all different. But I'm just at a point where I just feel like I'm kind of trucking along. And if I didn't start talking about me
I wouldn't start.
Yeah.
You know what it is? First time I lost weight was when MySpace was here before Facebook.
Jeez.
I was young. I was 450 pounds. I had started posting on MySpace every week my progress of losing weight. Well, then I started getting people going, what? Congratulations. This was the first time social media, you get a little high from people reacting.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I'm like, oh, what? I'm 21 years old. I'm losing weight, this and that. Well, every time that I've lost weight since then, since I've gained and then I've lost, is I notice that my spark comes back when I'm sharing with others. When I try to keep my journey to myself, it's cool. And I do want to see myself. But dude, I'm not here on this planet for me. Sorry, you don't have to believe me. Yeah. But some souls are put on this planet to help others. I firmly don't believe that I'm here to, I want to work out and better myself, but it's not about me. It's about me affecting people along my journey and things like that. And so I just feel like, putting myself out there just like I've done every other time. It's like a track record. If every time in my past I've lost weight successfully, once I started sharing with people my journey, then I feel like it helps hold me accountable. I like the community knowing what's going on, even if my community there's only 10 people following me watching. Maybe I'm affecting somebody, in the right way or something, so. But most of all, I'm doing this for me because in order for me to be selfless, I have to be a little selfish. And if I'm not selfish with working out and getting myself right, then how am I going to be the best version of myself to be selfless for anybody else? And so the unfortunate part is there's a fine line between being selfish and doing things that are instant gratification and blocking people out, or being selfish and actually working on yourself. Yeah. Like, I don't mind being selfish and not answering my phone if I'm working out on the elliptical, but if I'm being selfish, not answering the phone because I'm doing a line of blow or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm doing, but that's a little different between being selfish, So what kind of selfish are you? I don't know, but that's all I'm trying to say is I think that right now I am spreading myself out thin, not for others, but just other things, and for others. But right now I need to lock down, and even if it takes a couple of weeks of just being real locked down and kind of doing my workouts, kind of getting stuff straight mentally. I'm going to start writing. I pulled out my journal because, I told you that it was your post that got me to call you about journaling and meditating and just doing a lot of things that would, self-reflection is what I need. My grandfather that just passed away recently, that was his biggest thing. He's like, dude, Pete, do you ever see me talking to myself? And that's because we'd be driving and he'd be like, moving his lips like, Pop. I'm like, and I'd be looking at him like, what the fuck? As a little kid or something, I'd be like, whatever. And so all these years that happened, and then recently he goes, you ever see me talk to myself? I'm like, dude, all the time, bro. Yeah. He's like, that's because I'm reflecting. He's like, you want to know something? I said, what? He's like, you think your grandma knows what's best for me? He's all, I know what's best for me. Yes. So I'm talking to myself a little bit. If I don't do some self-reflection throughout the day, what's the fucking point? Yeah. He's all, but if you get caught up in it, that's overthinking. You have to have, this is all balance. It's all discipline. No one to shut it off. No one able. But my grandfather, he's like, man, you see me mumbling to myself because I'm having a conversation with me because I know what's bad. And I love that. It makes me happy to know that, in all reality at night when you go to bed, it's only you. You have you. Yeah. My grandpa used to tell my grandma that, like, Carmi, I love you, but you got to remember something. I'm either not going to be here one day or whatever it might be, but you're going to always need to be able to take care of you because if something happens. So it's always something that rung in the back of my, mind all the time, that taking care of myself, and I'm not very good at that lately, but I'm a work in progress. Yeah. I'm a vulnerable human being. I'm just like anybody else. But I'll sure as fuck make you laugh, dog. I might be down and out, but I'll make you laugh. That's my favorite thing. And sketch comedy, and that's another thing. I haven't done stand-up comedy in how long? Well, I haven't done it in a long time, so it was. And now I feel like getting up right now, I'd be a little like, I'd be obviously pretty nervous. But sketch comedy, I haven't recorded myself and put anything online in a while, and that's how I know I'm in a bad place. When I get self-doubt and self-conscious about my own recordings, because me, I like being in the middle of it, dude. Yeah. At our last job, you saw me in front of groups and so it's my favorite thing to be able to entertain and talk. But when I'm not feeling confident in myself, that's when I know I'm at my lowest. dude, I love walking around like confident, you know? And so that's another thing where the workouts and holding myself accountable, as far as, and I'm good at holding myself accountable for anything else, but when it comes to something to serve myself, no. Do I pray every day? Yeah. But I also, when I put so much on God, because, hey, don't get me wrong, all my prayer groups, everything, put it all on God. I get, and they're right. But there's still part of me that, because I don't know if I was a warrior in my past life, maybe I'm something directly to whatever the hell is out there. I don't know, but I just feel that that I'm here to help, and if I can help myself and help others along the way, you know, because obviously having a powerful throat chakra, I feel like that I might be able to influence, you know, something that somebody else might say that's almost identical to me that doesn't have a powerful throat chakra might not be able to get that message through. You know, I'm not some smart guy. I'm just saying some stuff that I heard from other people, you know, so, or my experience. But I just feel like sometimes when I say things, it gets embedded. Sometimes it sticks with people, including myself. So being able to say this out loud about all the things that I'm going through. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm not even talking about other things that I got going on. But everybody's got a story. And I have it very good right now. I'm blessed. I have a roof. I have a bathroom I can use. I have food. And getting adjusted to the minimalist lifestyle has been beautiful, you know, and being able to reintroduce what my true cravings are in life. Do I crave that mansion, or do I crave a small place in the middle of the woods where I can connect with nature and have my little podcast thing? You know, I don't know, but I know that this life is pretty fucking crazy, and I'm just here for the ride. You know?
Yeah.
Boy, am I talking your ear off today. Boy, I'm talking your ear off.
So my brother, we hit way over an hour, my man. But I want to let you know that you're going to be coming on here reoccurring just like you did on the last podcast. But my brother, I have 2 more questions for you. If this was your podcast, High Value Discussions, hosted by you, and if there was one question that you wanted to ask me, what would it be?
Who was your biggest influence in your life?
My mother.
And I want to tell you something right now, even though I knew the answer to that question, that is something that on my podcast, if I was to ever have it, for instance, if it was going to be about a restaurant, I don't care about what you make. I want to know who motivated you to call it Jimmy's. I want to know what was the first recipe you decided to put on look at my hair standing up. What was the first recipe you decided to put on the menu, and why? I want to know these things. I don't care about the ingredients in it. Anybody can go over there and read the menu. I want to know what motivated you. So to know that you're a beautiful mother, you're an amazing mother of a soul, because I know this because you've only talked great things of her. I wanted to ask that question because I knew that was the answer, but that is such a meaningful question because you were such a motivated, ambitious human being. To find out where that seed got planted, to find out who has influenced you and motivated you, what a beautiful more person than your mother, bro.
Yeah, and I do see my family like weekly, and there's always like this progression talk within us. Like for breakfast, it's like, hey, what happened during the week, the good, the bad, etc. We talk about the mistakes, we talk about the lessons or things that could have been capitalized on, and I could always lean on her for, say, guidance, information, etc. But I always say, when you look at somebody, you need to look at who influenced them.
Yeah.
Where did they come from?
Yeah.
So when I look at my mother, I see her work ethic comes from her father. I see her heart comes from her mother. And being around my grandparents, I'm like, oh, this is what made my mother. You know what I mean? So there are pieces of what our parents give to us, whether it be good, whether it be bad. You take them all in and you make your little tweaks to it. You know what I mean? So, and my mom, she's a big advocate on, she wants to pass down so much information to us and instill these work ethics and principles to us so we surpass her.
Yeah.
There's the ultimate objective when it comes to a parent. Like when I have a son, when I have a daughter, I want to be able to pass that information down as well so they surpass their father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is the whole point. But who influenced me and who always will influence me is just, man, my mother.
I love it. I love it.
My brother, my very, very last question to you. You have been through so much throughout your life. You still continue to do so. But what I love about you is you are the real example of showing up. You are the real example of what life is all about. There's ups and there's downs, but regardless, you're going to still keep going. If there was one piece of wisdom that you would want to pass down to the audience, what would it be, brother?
One piece of wisdom to pass down to the audience throughout my life with things. Don't take absolutely not one thing personal. That is disappointment. That is the reason relationships get messed up. That is the reason business gets messed up. So don't take not one thing personal. If somebody buys you flowers, don't take it personal, because ultimately the person that bought you flowers bought you those flowers because your smile makes them feel good. They didn't just do it because they want to be, unless, they're cheating on you and they just need to buy your flowers to go. But in all reality, if someone genuinely even gives you a gift, it's ultimately because it makes them feel good.
Yes.
So is it a personal thing to you? Yeah, I guess on some level, but it's just an example of whether they're being mean to you or nice to you. It's a direct reflection of somebody else. And I can see when I'm feeling like shit, like when I'm down right now, dude, I try my hardest not to treat anybody bad. But I'm going to tell you what a difference than when I am feeling good. You know what I mean? So don't take it personal, because where people are in their life, for the most part, can be a direct reflection of, like, a mirror of what they are, So if somebody's being rude or mean, hey, I'm not saying don't protect your energy by leaving or stepping away, or stand up for yourself, whatever it might be, but don't take it personal. Don't go overthink it, and don't. So I don't mean to over explain that question. I'm trying to keep it simple, but don't take anything personal. Nothing. And that's it.
Beautiful, my brother. Are there any closing statements for the podcast, my man?
No, I just appreciate time is worth more than anything, and being able to express
That's
myself.
my love language.
Yeah,
Time.
dude. It's
You know what I
time,
mean?
So giving me this platform and time to be able to express myself and make myself so vulnerable for your audience, it's just a big deal for me. This is the beginning. I can't wait to come back on to give an update of where I am. And if anybody wants to follow me to see my progress, it's Pete the Powerful on Instagram, and I would love for anybody that wants to follow.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode. If you got a lot of value out of this, please do me a favor and support our channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Make sure to hit that follow button on Spotify to stay updated with our latest episodes. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, I would greatly appreciate it if you would leave a 5-star rating, followed by with a review. Again, thank you all for the support. Stay loving, stay hungry, and stay excellent.